most characters often wind up looking like different dimensions of yourself. Learn how to diversify your character portfolio. Stay tuned. I'm Jim, and this is Rory. We are Promethean Entertainment, and today we're going to be talking about character development.
That's right. Your character. You're a bad person. No, I'm just kidding. You're a beautiful person. You have great character, but we're gonna work on that character. We're gonna stretch it a little bit today.
Right. So one of the things that we've discovered as we've been writing personally, but also reading other people's works, is that a lot of times characters are just different perspectives or just different variations of the writer, and how they go about presenting themselves. So
Indeed, it's hard to not put a bit of yourself into each character, because, like they say, it's easier to tell a half truth than a lie. Because so it's and they say sell what you know, and so you know yourself, and you might not even consciously realize you're putting some of your character traits or flaws into characters, but everyone does it.
It's true. And it's okay to put a little bit of yourselves, but you don't want each character to be just like the same character with similar backgrounds. You want to have a diverse portfolio of characters for your story. And so, like, one of the tricks I do is I try to think about how this character's background would affect them. For example, somebody you want the character to be a little bit more, let's say, cocky or confident. What does their background say about that? How does their background influence their confidence? Were they the best at school? I wasn't the best in school. I wasn't the best in sports or whatever, or anything like that. But maybe I develop a character that is. How does that influence their actions later on in life in the story?
That's good. That's a good one. I think making a character based around a pre-existing character does help. A lot of people write their friends into their books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I would do that, just because I'd probably kill some of them off and they get all hurt about it. But I have one character from one book I'm writing. It's based around an amalgamation of real and fictitious people. So I use the name Buck William as an homage to William F. Buckley, but he's more of a Indiana Jones-ish character, but gruffer, a gruff Indiana Jones, that reluctant hero kind of thing.
Nice.
So I could pull from these different personalities, and it does make it smoother. It makes it easier. You know what that person would do in that situation, and you don't have to worry about a character being as dynamic. He already has a set personality. He's a grown adult. He's been through all, like I said, his history, his background. So you already know how he's going to behave. He doesn't have to have some major moral character change in the arcs of the story. He's a known quantity, and I think at least the readers I'm going for, that's what they want. They don't want some wild deviation from that character or storyline.
Right. Yeah, and that's totally cool. And another thing, like as you said, I was going to say something similar, was using real people, maybe friends or just acquaintances. Like, it's like, oh, that person is kind of the style of person that I'm creating for the character. And so you don't have to, you don't copy and paste, but a question you can ask yourself is, okay, this is how I would respond in this situation, but how would, my wife or my doctor, or I don't know, my boss,
would my attorney tell me to not do this?
Yeah. Right. Versus my college friend, my college roommate,
who would totally tell you to do it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I think can be helpful to kind of make sure your characters have a life of their own and aren't just carbon copies of yourself. And of course, let your character develop as the story progresses. How does the story impact them? the action, what's happening, what's coming, what's affecting their choices, their all those things affect the character. So let them develop into somebody that's not necessarily your friend, but it's a
It's
good
organic.
place to start, to not make it like, oh, this is me on Monday and this is me on Wednesday.
Right. Another good thing is, as your character is developing, make a character Bible for them. Write down their personality traits, their character traits, what they would do in a difficult situation, so that you can refer back to it to stay consistent. You can put mile markers in there, like this was a big event. This changed his mind about this. If that's what you need to go for in your story, if you need that change of character, but be consistent. Once that happens, consistently do that thing.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, because one of the another pitfall, aside from just making a copy of yourself, the other mistake that I've seen and I've done is I was like, oh, this character solely exists as a plot device or just another person for the main character to talk to feedback, so I can feed feed lore or feed information or situation or whatever, to create dialogue. It's like, so how do I make that character from just a process or a tool or device to something that's more alive and feels more real?
Right. And if you get too comfortable with that, if you end up inserting a plot device like that sidekick character, the best thing you can do is to kill him off, because it forces you to be more creative.
Yep.
Like when Scott and I sit down to write, we have to have this mentality of like, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong, and it forces us to work ourselves out of that situation creatively.
Yeah, that's good.
Excellent. Anything else?
Well, our time, I think, is up. So hopefully that'll give you a good place to start to kind of make your characters, give them more life. And stay tuned for more announcements.
Write a character development down in the comments. Just write like a 1 or 2 sentence thing saying this character based on this in this time period, because time period matters. Give a little short description.
That's a good idea.
We'll tell you how much crap it is.
Do that. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And
thank you.